So the breaking news that has taken over the week and maybe even the whole entire transfer window, maybe even the whole year of 2024, is that Kylian Mbappe is set to join Real Madrid from PSG once his contract expires. There's been a lot of sources that are saying that we have ESPN, we have La Marca, we have Fox, Daily Mail, Forbes, BBC. A lot of news outlets are claiming that this news or claiming that this will indeed happen at the end of his contract. The only reliable source, I guess, that hasn't really said anything on this matter is Fabrizio Romano. No tweet, as I'm recording this, has been published saying that Real Madrid is set to bring in Mbappe at the end of his PSG contract. So it says here that the French newspaper L'Equipe reported Sunday, ensuring that the 2018 World Cup winner will depart from his hometown PSG when his current deal expires this summer. So yeah, there's nothing actually confirmed saying that he will go, but there are just sources that are claiming that this is true. We have not heard from anything directly from Mbappe, directly from the clubs, or even Fabrizio Romano. So this deal is still up in the air. Do you think they'll actually confirm by the time I'm done uploading this video? I think it will. I think he's just going to leave PSG. I think he's going to go to Real Madrid. I think there's just no other way that PSG can prevent this from happening, especially everything that Mbappe has kind of went through with the club. Like off the pitch, even on and off the pitch, really. So I think Mbappe to Real Madrid is a done deal, to be honest, behind closed doors. We're going to stay in Spain and go over to Barcelona, where there has been a lot of drama on their end recently, both on and off the field. Obviously, we have Xavi resigning as head coach for Barcelona due to the fact that he stated in quote that it's just not worth being the Barcelona manager. All the added pressure that's being put on him or anybody that steps to that role by the media, by the fans, it's just, he said it's not worth it. It's very unrealistic and it's unfair. He said, and I quote him, "I am leaving because it's been 2.5 years on this role and the whole process of being the Barcelona manager is not worth it, I believe. You fight every day against everything, and that wears you off. You can't enjoy your daily life. I've seen managers in this club suffering and struggling even when they have won. Managers who've won the Champions League and were questioned. This week I spoke about it with Jagoba Arrasate, the Osasuna manager. He told me he enjoys his job from Monday to Friday. Well, I don't." So Xavi is just simply unhappy at Barcelona. And it's very unfortunate because he's been here for 2 years. He's literally won La Liga last season. I mean, yeah, they were in Europa League and they didn't win Copa de España, but it's like what else could you possibly want from Xavi? Yeah, like the team performances are kind of in like a rough patch right now, but they're still top 4. Girona are pulling off a Leicester situation. We still have 3 months of the league left, so anything can really happen. I think I agree with the fact that there is a lot of unnecessary and just added pressure onto the Barcelona manager. I think fans and the media kind of expect too much from him. They expect him to win the league every year or just win every single game or go undefeated for the whole league. It's just really unrealistic standards, and I don't blame the fact that Xavi is unhappy and he made the decision to leave at the end of the season. Now, since Xavi will leave at the end of the season, Barcelona are going to have to find a backup. So there has been a lot of names that have been floating around, like Arteta, like Rafa Marquez, like Thiago Motta, like Mourinho, just a lot of names. Mikel Arteta, however, has just denied any allegations of his movement to Barcelona. He's saying that he's focused on Arsenal, the fact that they're even talking about this, or the fact that that's even been, released is just complete nonsense and it's complete lies. So Arteta has completely denied of any interest or any approach from Barcelona and him leaving Arsenal. And then like other names like Thiago Motta and Rafa Marquez, 2 ex-Barca players. Marquez has recently made some questionable comments about being rumored for the position. He was acting a little cocky and pretty much claiming that like he already owned the role. It made the possibility of him being the manager very unlikely. So that is ruled out as from what we know. Thiago Motta is most likely not going to get it. But yeah, no, there's still a couple of other managers that are thrown into the pot who do you think would be the best fit for Barcelona? Honestly, I don't think there was ever a period where Barcelona has really been failing. The only thing that I feel like that Barcelona are missing is a Champions League. They haven't really competed in the Champions League tournament ever since Messi left, really. So it's been a couple years. Who do you think would be best for that? Do you think it's Jose Mourinho? Do you think it's somebody else? Do you think Arteta would change his mind? Do you think Klopp would turn around and take the job? Who knows? Let me know in the comments down below. We're gonna stay in Barcelona for a second because they played Deportivo Alaves today, as I'm recording this on Saturday, February 3rd, and they did win 3-1. Vitor Roque actually scored the third goal late in the 68th minute. But I have something to talk about here, and I don't want people to come at me claiming that I'm a Barca fan or claiming that I'm against Madrid or claiming, just claiming these things that are just not true. So there was a red card given for Vitor Roque late in the game for serious foul play, or what is considered for serious foul play. And it was just simply not a red card. It wasn't checked. The fact that this was given as a red card is a complete disgrace. The fact that this wasn't reviewed by VAR is a complete disgrace. And I don't know what is going on in Spain, but something is happening behind the scenes that nobody is talking about. Yeah, I made a video about Real Madrid potentially cheating or allegedly cheating or paying off refs and things like that. People are saying that Barca have done the same thing. But honestly, at this point, I think everybody who watches football just knows that the referees that ref in La Liga are just not good, or at least not consistent. And the fact that this was just nowhere near, Vitor Roque, I'm going to put the clip up. The fact that Vitor Roque didn't even touch that Deportivo defender and still somehow received a red card. Maybe in the moment it looked like he stepped on him. It's completely understandable for the referee to believe that Vitor Roque stepped on that Deportivo player in real time, or it could definitely appear that way. But there's VAR, and there's 4 or 5 people in the VAR booth that are overseeing this whole thing. They have the camera angles. They can clearly see that Vitor Roque was just in no way. He was just nowhere near that defender, or at least it wasn't even a foul. But he didn't do anything about it. So I'm really concerned over the officiating in Spain and the fact that they are making these blatantly wrong calls and not being corrected, not being punished. I'm not saying that Real Madrid are paying the refs to have Barca lose. I'm not saying that Deportivo Alaves had some influence with I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying that nobody paid anybody. I'm just saying that this is a known issue that needs to be addressed and needs to be fixed. Either the referees are not being taught correctly, or maybe they're bringing these inexperienced referees to La Liga. Whatever it is, it needs to be fixed. What do you think about this whole situation in terms of the officiating in Spain and La Liga? Do you think it's just referees making bad calls? Do you think that there's something suspicious going on? Let me know what you think about these referees in Spain. Do you think they're actually being paid off by a club? Do you think that they're just not being trained well? I would just love to know what you think about this situation. Let's head to the Premier League now, where we go over some of the fixtures that happened this week. That huge fixture at Wolves against Manchester United, where Manchester United almost dropped points to Wolves and were absolutely saved by Kobbie Mainoo in the 97th minute. They definitely escaped from a real scare. I think everybody would have been pretty worried if they dropped points. But that was Rashford's first game back, from that whole clubbing situation when he was out at Belfast. And he actually ended up scoring within the first 5 minutes of the game and put up a pretty decent performance. I guess he's off to the right start in, coming back from this whole drama. If you're a Manchester United fan, are you still backing Marcus Rashford? There's a lot of criticism going on behind Marcus Rashford, I feel like, because he is a local player. He was born in Manchester. He's been playing there since he was a kid. I feel like there's just added pressure to him, and the fact that he hasn't really been performing this season. And now all of a sudden he's out caught clubbing in Belfast and missing training and didn't play in the FA Cup game. Are you still going to back him? Do you still think he's the man for the job? Would you want to sell him? And if you do sell him, who are you going to bring in to replace him? I would just love to know your thoughts on that. Regardless, Manchester United got the win, saved by the 18-year-old Kobbie Mainoo. He's been putting up some really, really great performances for a kid his age in a league. He is really, really bossing the midfield. I think this is a quality player, and Mainoo is definitely somebody to look forward to in the future. We're going to move on to Newcastle versus Luton Town that happened today. It was a 4-4 tie, goals galore, just a very back and forth game. I would consider this a loss for Newcastle. They've only had one win in their last 5 games, so they're really not accumulating any points. Last season they finished top 4, Champions League, but now they're just really struggling to kind of perform, or at least they're struggling to get some results. For Luton, though, I would consider this a win if I was a Luton Town fan. This is their second win in 5. So they won 2, tied 2, lost 1. I think that's pretty good, in my opinion, for Luton. For a club like Luton Town, recently promoted from the Championship, they're in like this relegation battle. They're fighting not to be in that drop zone, which they're doing pretty well so far. They're only, I believe, a point or so above that drop zone, but I think this is an important result for them. I think anything that isn't a loss at this point for Luton is a good result. Next, we have Sheffield United versus Aston Villa, where Villa absolutely embarrassed Sheffield. Poor guys. Their first 4 goals came in the first 30 minutes of the game. Insane. And then the 5th just came like 2 minutes after the second half started. This was an important win for Aston Villa as they continue their push for a European spot, whether that is Champions League, Europa League, or the Conference League. I think no matter where they finish, if they finish in a European spot, I would consider that a very successful season for Aston Villa, and especially if they do make a Champions League. If they absolutely, I think that over exceeds expectations for everybody. Really, yeah, I would say top 6 is a very fair assumption to make in where they might finish in the table this year. So what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to make top 6? Do you think they're just going to completely mess it up and finish mid-table or something? Let me know in the comments down below. Sticking in the Premier League, actually, tomorrow, Sunday, this video should be going out at some point on Saturday. I'm not really sure. It depends on how quick I edit it. Sunday, there should be some big games coming up. First up, we have 3 9 a.m. kickoffs Eastern Time here in the United States. It's Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. We have Chelsea versus Wolves, and then Manchester United versus West Ham, all at 9 o'clock. The biggest game tomorrow is Arsenal versus Liverpool, which I think, honestly, if Liverpool win this game, they're pretty much going to win the league, in my opinion. This is my opinion. So right now the table is Liverpool in first, 22 games played, 51 points. City in second, 21 games played, 46 points. And then Arsenal with 22 games played, 46 points. So City and Arsenal are both tied on 46, with City with the game in hand. This is going to be a huge game. I think this is going to be important. It's going to be very important for Liverpool this season, especially with Klopp stepping down as manager at the end of the season as well. So they're going to really want to send him off with a league title, and I think that it's very likely for them to win the whole thing. They've been playing very well. City are really, in my opinion, are the only threats that can compete with Liverpool. I don't think Arsenal can really catch up at this point, and not mathematically they can, but I feel like at some point in the season they're just going to drop and just not give the performance and not get the results that they need to win the league. I think Arsenal did have a good chance of winning the league, but I feel like they've just been dropping too many points. So I don't know. In my opinion, I think Liverpool is going to win the league this season. But what do you think? Let me know. Do you think Arsenal will have a chance to bring it back? Do you think City is just going to pull a City and just overtake Liverpool and win the league again? Let me know what you think. Lastly, I want to end the video here on this note with Inter Miami losing against Ronaldo's Al Nassr. This is just an insane game, and it's a very controversial thing to say because I don't want to, as somebody who has followed the MLS at least very closely in recent times, it's just really disappointing to see a club like Inter Miami just not perform. I live in the Miami area. I've gone to watch Miami since opening day, since the inaugural season. I've been a season ticket holder, so I've been to every game. I've seen them play. I've seen the players come in and out. I have a good understanding of what they are and how they play. And the fact that they lost to Al Nassr 6-0 is not a surprise at all. In my opinion, it's not a surprise that they lost. The fact that it was 6-0 is a surprise to me, even though Al Nassr is one of, if not the best club in Saudi Arabia. They have amazing players there as well, like Talisca, like Laporte. I don't know, it's just kind of embarrassing. I feel like, I was talking to a buddy of mine about this, I feel like this loss should be, or not even just this loss, but Inter Miami's whole preseason tour should just be an eye-opener to these fans that come and watch Inter Miami, because nobody, in my opinion, nobody who goes to watch Inter Miami is actually going to see good football. I feel like everybody who watches or buys a ticket to see an Inter Miami game is only there to see Messi, regardless if he plays 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if he scores, if they win. It doesn't really matter. As long as they see Messi in person, it's like, okay, this was well worth the ticket. Which is kind of upsetting as somebody like me. I've been going to see the club play for the last 3 years. I've been to every home game. I've watched every away game on TV, and it's not seeing them win is just, it hurts. It hurts not seeing them win. It's just like annoying, and the fact that they managed to somehow bring in Messi, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and now Luis Suarez, and they still can't put a team together. Like, they still can't put results together. I don't know. Like, it's shocking in my opinion. I think that part is shocking. Not the fact that they're losing to these good teams in Saudi Arabia, but the fact that they can't string something together. They can't play well together, and it's real. And they have Tata Martino as a coach, which isn't like the worst coach in the world. In my opinion, it's better than Neville as a coach. No disrespect to Neville. We did better in the league, like in the MLS, with Neville at the helm than with Tata Martino. I know Tata Martino came in like halfway in the season, but Neville made us helped Inter Miami qualify for playoffs twice. Tata Martino, even though he only had half a season, he didn't really make it that much better. I mean, despite having Messi, I mean, yeah, they won Leagues Cup, but honestly, that's just a very irrelevant tournament in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of things going on in my head about Inter Miami. I don't know what I feel about them. Honestly, I have like mixed emotions about it. I had really high hopes that Inter Miami would like actually be contenders to maybe win the league. And I say that besides the fact that they have Messi, Busquets, Alba, and Suarez, I say that because I'm like, okay, yeah, like last season they weren't going to win the league last season, but I'm like, okay, but like they had last season to, learn to play together. Then they had they're going to use this preseason to put some tactics up and learn how to play together with like the other players, right? And so I'm like, okay, like if they learn how to play with each other and just be able to play as a team, then maybe we can win the league. But it doesn't, for some reason, it just doesn't feel that way. And this preseason tour is not giving me a lot of confidence to say that they could actually win the whole thing. But I mean, we still have to, actually play the league. The competition in MLS is obviously a whole lot different than in Asia and Europe, even in South America. So maybe there is a chance. So we just have to wait and see. The MLS season starts in March. Preseason games are going to be continuing on for the rest of this month, or at least the next couple weeks. So I don't know. We'll see how that turns out, but let me know what you guys think. Do you guys care about Inter Miami at all? Do you guys care about Messi or Suarez being at Miami? Do you care if they even win or lose, like at Miami? Or would you just, like, if you're an American and you had the chance to see Messi play, would you care if he won, or would you care if you saw good football, or are you just happy to see Messi? You let me know in the comments down below. If it was me, I'm there for the good football, man. Because that's at the end of the day, like, yeah, you're Messi, you're the best player in the world. But like, if I don't see that, if I don't see just good football on the field, then it's like I'm just watching a guy. Like I'm just looking at a guy. Like it's like I'm looking at a celebrity. So it's like I don't know. In my opinion, I'd rather see good football. A special shout out to Laporte for scoring like a goal from literally his own half. It was like a free kick. And Calendar was just, I don't know what Calendar was doing. He was like giving instructions to the defense or something, and he just like, Laporte just let it rip and scored. So shout out to Laporte. But yeah, guys, this was a very like laid back version of this episode of Weekly Recap. Thank you so much for joining in and watching the whole thing if you have stuck until the end. So I appreciate that. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, commenting, sharing. We just recently hit 100 subscribers, and I'm really thankful for all the support that's being shown on this channel. So like I said, I'm trying to give news, and then I'll throw in my opinion in here from time to time. But yeah, this has been the weekly recap. Let me know if I have missed anything, because there are a lot of news that happen around the world, and I am only one person, and I can only share so many news. But I try to, anything that I don't talk about in the YouTube videos, I either make a TikTok about it, or I post it on Twitter or Instagram, and those links will be in the description. So go follow me there if you want to hear from me or hear more updates about transfers or just drama that's happening around the world. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next weekly recap video.